I've been seeing a lot of discourse around this whole super shady 1 a.m. committee hearing scheduled by Republicans, which, yes, super shady, not okay. It was done by design because they knew that no one would be watching, or very few people would be watching. Absolutely. But I'm here to remind you guys that C-SPAN is your friend. Because here's the thing. Some of the discourse I've been seeing is making a big deal about having people on the ground to see it, like, in person. Like, we need people there to see it in person. And while, yes, sure, I'm not going to discount being on the ground and in person in places, it's also not required for us to know what's going on inside these hearings, because C-SPAN live streams all of them for free on the internet. You don't even need like a TV provider. You don't need a TV or any sort of like subscription to anything. It is free on their website. I'm gonna do you one better because they actually do something even cooler than that is actually really helpful and might be a good idea for people who are also looking for other ways to help. The thing with C-SPAN is, and I'm genuinely surprised that I have grown to love this channel as much as I do, because historically, if you know anything about it, it is known as like the boring channel. No offense. Because C-SPAN, I mean, you have to have a TV provider to access some of their like extra content with commentary and whatnot, I believe. But traditional classic C-SPAN is just camera footage of proceedings and whatnot. They go on for hours and hours, as we know, and can be very boring, especially when things run correctly. But these proceedings are also exactly where all of the really, really important stuff happens, okay? Not in speeches, not in tweets or social media posts, no. This is where the laws of our country are written and passed. This is where you can actually see how people are fighting against your rights and how people are fighting for your rights. The other day I posted, I was up at 4 a.m. watching C-SPAN, kind of laughing because Dems were really giving Republicans hell, and people were like shocked because they were like, they had no idea that it was happening. Yes, because it was at 4 a.m. They were giving them hell in a way that's not very like flashy or newsworthy. And like, again, plenty that I want Dems doing more and better right now, but also credit where credit is due, right? And they were making Republicans' lives like really difficult for a day, and I like that. But those sort of procedures are happening constantly right now, and yes, often after 1 a.m. because Republicans don't want people aware. So I live streamed C-SPAN last night with my commentary until around 4 a.m. because I had to go to sleep. Obviously, no one can keep an eye on C-SPAN 24/7, but what you can do is keep an eye on it when you can, especially if you're a night owl. If you are like listening to background noise, if you're washing dishes maybe, right? Put C-SPAN on in the background, because the other thing it lets you do is if you create an account, you can highlight clips. You can clip things from proceedings. So if something important happens that you think, you know, you might want to share or someone else might want to share, you can send me stuff, highlight it, save it. You know, it'll save to your profile. If you make your profile public, you know, other people can see the clips that you highlight, but also just so you're aware as well, like, and not just dependent on what other people think is important from these proceedings. I know they're boring, but also these days they're less boring and more just enraging, if that's any comfort, I guess. So yeah, C-SPAN is our friend. We want to keep an eye on these people and what they're doing, and we can't all do it 24/7, but together we can kind of watch it all together and keep each other aware. And consider disabling your ad blocker on the C-SPAN site, because, you know, they're important. They're an important resource for us, and it's just one site, you know, just whitelist the one site. It's really not